Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is October the 2nd, 2018. Strong hand, long-term thinking, unconfiscatable. Bitcoin first. All right, this coming Friday, 10:30 a.m. I already have the time. I already know who's going to be on. It's This Week in Bitcoin. This Friday, we do This Week in Bitcoin show. It's a panel show that wraps up the whole week. We have 3 great guests, always the best freaking guests in the space on this channel. At 10:30 a.m. on Friday, that's Eastern time. Zach Vol will be on. Just Stop Murad, that's Murad. And Abraham Cambridge from South Africa will be on. You know all those dudes. They've been on the show before. I want to wish a very happy birthday to Josh Kohout in the super chat. He sent $2. Josh, I hope you're having a great birthday, whether you're out in the middle of the plains of the Midwest or wherever you may be. Happy birthday, Josh, and thank you for the support. All right, so I mentioned that Zach Vol will be on the show on Friday. And of course, This Week in Bitcoin is every Friday, but I do post a new show here every single day of the freaking year, including this one that you're watching right now. Oh man, I'm like the Cal Ripken of freaking Bitcoin. Every day I come to play, baby. Pound that freaking like button. To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo! All right, so I haven't done that one for a while either. So the great Zach Vol had an awesome interview with the dude who's in charge of Casa. And I linked to it below. And this organization, Casa, this company, Casa, I've mentioned it before, a premium cold storage solution for sovereign individuals who want to be their Bitcoin back without having to overcome tons of technical hurdles. Okay, so we're talking about, they're basically appealing to high-end clients too, who are wealthy people and can get really, should we say, customizable. They'll get customizable with their clients. They'll do what their clients want them to do. But their primary interest is Bitcoin. They came up with that Bitcoin first slogan that I just used before, and I think that's a great way. They're not going to describe themselves as Bitcoin maximalist. They're Bitcoin first, and I'm a Bitcoin firster also. You know, because I do accept there are other coins out there. They're not all going to die, but Bitcoin is the one. Bitcoin is the rock. So I'm a Bitcoin first type of guy. But anyway, going back to this interview, that is, you should watch it. Listen to it, excuse me. It's a listen to, guys. So those of you who need pretty pictures, you're not going to be entertained. And you probably shouldn't be here anyway, but we're not about fancy sets and graphics here, baby. Oh yeah, pound that freaking like button. So he talked about the Lightning network a little bit even. He mentioned that if Bitcoin fails, they're all going to fail, which I have always said also. And Tone Bays has said that for a long time also. So for those of you who are like, I want Bitcoin to disappear. Well, if Bitcoin disappears, all cryptocurrency disappears. So, but Bitcoin isn't disappearing. Sovereign wealth security is a new concept, he explains. And I mean, overall, this interview shows how early we are and what a bright future is ahead, and the glory of the smart people like this dude. I forgot what his name even is. I know that Zach interviewed him. He's from Casa. Excuse me for forgetting your name, dude, but you were great. And you guys can learn his name by listening to the interview. He does mention Duke University, and he does prove, again, a lot of people are down on colleges right now, but I have mentioned the elite schools in the United States of America, such as Duke. If you can get into them, if you know someone who's gotten into a school like Duke, most of the time, they're smart. And this guy is smart, okay? You can hate on again, you might not learn a lot at these universities for certain courses, and then certain people get in with lesser grades and lesser the standards aren't the same for everyone. But again, this guy shows that there's a large group of people who do go to these premier universities who are creating great products and are smart people. So no, a degree isn't going to tell you everything about a person, but at a degree from a top tier university, it's going to give you a little bit of a hint about them, at least a lot of the time. So going back to this interview, what is it? You have to think about, he mentioned something, you have to think about what is going to change in life, but you also have to think about what is not going to change. And what's not going to change is people are always going to need a safe place for the Bitcoin, good storage for the Bitcoin. There are going to be people out there that are going to keep relying on third parties. So that's just a fact. That's something that's not going to change either. So, I mean, you could build a business around that if you wanted to. I mean, they're going to be Bitcoin banks. Again, this interview just inspired, again, it just brought up a lot of future topics that can be expanded upon. And this company is definitely going in the right direction. They point out that people are always going to be busy. They're not going to have the time, or at least certain people. If you're a dude, you got a wife and a kid, you're maintaining a house, you're working for a Fortune 500 company. And again, I don't recommend doing that, but you're not going to have a lot of time to manage your Bitcoin, and you're going to want some help with it. You're not going to be able to learn the whole Trezor in and outs. You're not going to be 100% perfect with your storage capabilities. So this company is here for the sovereign customer first, for the person who wants control, who is a sovereign individual, who doesn't want a third party to control their wealth. They do key management for sovereign individuals. So again, watch the video. This company, I've talked about Casa before, and also he sees a day of reckoning for the non-safe stores out there, which I have also talked about, that one day, one of these third-party custodial services is going to get hacked, and it is going to be a bad day, and a lot of people are going to learn a hard lesson. But again, it's personal responsibility is a new counterculture, as I always say here. So yeah, that's all. Again, it's a good interview. So on it, it's linked to below. All right, Ansel Lindner, who has also been a guest on This Week in Bitcoin before, he says, and he's awesome, they can't put Bitcoin back into a bottle. It's loose, it's anti-fragile, and it's delivering, what is this, over $5 billion of censorship-resistant transactions per day. All right. I did get word from another guest who has been on this show before, who won't be on this Friday, but will be on the This Week in Bitcoin show in 2 Fridays. What is that? Is that the 19th? No, that's the the 12th. I got a message from Gabriel in Venezuela, and I don't know if he's even going to be able to talk about this, but his exchange, Monkey Coin, was shut down by the Venezuelan government 7 weeks ago. So it was banned by the government. It was banned by the government 7 weeks ago. So, I mean, there's really not much I can say about that right now. And he's all right. So let's talk to him, not this Friday, but next Friday, the 12th. And yes, he's all right. I did talk to him. So, this happened 7 weeks ago. I think he's a little down, but we'll hear from him. We'll hear from him. Someone did ask me, how's Gabriel? Someone asked me that a few days ago. One of the guys over there in the chat that watches this show all the time. And yeah, that's how Gabriel is. So, we were talking about storage before. Andreas Antonopoulos, I linked to his video. He reminds everyone, use a passphrase on your Trezor. Use a passphrase. Use a passphrase. And don't do the brain wallet thing. Don't try to get cutesy with your storage techniques either, okay? He doesn't try to get cutesy either about it. He sticks with the program. Don't try to get too fancy to like you're saving some money or something like that. No, just follow the protocol. use the passphrase to protect as a way to protect yourself. Watch the video. It's linked below. All right. This is from some Be Private dude, and it brings up a bigger bigger issue. The Coinbase application form has been filled out and submitted. Okay, so be private applies to Coinbase. That's not a shock. I mean, I'm sure every altcoin out there with a brain has applied to be listed on Coinbase after they have given everybody the opportunity to do so. The question is, will Coinbase deal with privacy coins? And are they more likely to list crypto dividends of Bitcoin like Be Private and like BGold because they can appear to be giving long-term holders free coins? Because again, long-term holders, I mean, you're not really holding your they control your Bitcoin when you've been keeping your Bitcoin there for a while. At least you haven't been trading it. But if you're a long-term holder of Bitcoin on Coinbase, they owe you BGold and they owe you some Be Private. So they might go for those first because it's going to seem like to a lot of their long-term holders, oh, we're getting something for free. And some of those people, if you're naive enough to keep your Bitcoin on Coinbase, you might not even know that you're entitled to BGold or Be Private. But again, and BGold is not private at all. BGold is, so that one, again, if BGold and Be Private are going to be listed, BGold will be listed way before Be Private will be. So we will see also, Gemini has Zcash already. So they're willing to list that private C coin Gemini. So I would assume Coinbase would be willing to list Zcash, but how private are they gonna, where's their dividing line? Is Be Private too private? Is Monero too private? We'll have to see. We'll have to see the evolution of adding coins to Coinbase, see how that progresses, and see what direction they're trying to go in. If they're trying to go in the crypto dividend direction, if they're avoiding the privacy coin direction. So good luck to Be Private. Good luck to BGold and Zcash also. Anybody, anybody getting listed on Coinbase, you end up in there. You're going to get pumped now because they have that one option, the bundle option, where you push a button, you get all of them at once. Again, they haven't added anything new lately. The last one was Ethereum Classic. I will keep you all up to date because I know a lot of you buy your stuff from Coinbase. You should only be buying Bitcoin from there, though, because the others, come on. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. So speaking about altcoins and other coins, Shapeshift was in the news. Was in the Wall Street Journal article yesterday, and a lot of it was fake news, trying to create FUD around Shapeshift, that it launders money. I didn't read the whole article, but Eric Voorhees has written a reply, a thorough reply to the Wall Street Journal, and I linked to it below. And the guy named, and this guy Jeet has a great Twitter feed. I linked to it below. He says, wow, pretty comprehensive takedown of the Wall Street Journal's reporting. The funniest thing is the Wall Street Journal is now refusing to share the transaction IDs once Shapeshift found some of the specific claims were just wildly inaccurate. Yeah, so yeah, be careful of mainstream media fudding on cryptocurrency. Don't get too carried away with it. A lot of people do, of course. That's just the nature of the beast. These mainstream publications, they don't always have dedicated sources that are really into the crypto space, into the Bitcoin space. With all that being said, Matt Odell had his own take on what Eric Voorhees had to write in response to the Wall Street Journal. He thought it was very revealing. If there were any doubts that Shapeshift doesn't actually care about user privacy or fungibility, the response to the recent Wall Street Journal article should put them to rest. They don't care. They never cared. At least they are finally admitting it point blank. Ouch! All right. I see in the super chat, Josh Kohout on his birthday says no shenanigans this birthday, just BTC minded plus Adam. Well, thanks, Josh, for the, you must be having a great birthday. I'm having a great birthday for you here. October 2nd is always nice. There's like a a baseball playoff game today. And maybe you're in the Midwest. I know a lot of people in the Midwest like the Cubs, and I think they'll beat the Rockies. Of course, now there are people in the Midwest who also like the Rockies. Anyway, and of course, all of us from Baltimore hope that the A's win the game tomorrow that they play in that wretched place that they will have to travel to tomorrow. Pound that freaking like button if you don't like that team or the other team in the American League East that is in the playoffs. Because in Baltimore, we don't like those two teams that will go nameless, and we hope the A's. I don't care about the A's that much, but if they could beat that wretched team and then go on to beat the other wretched team, that would be great. No, don't waste your time following sports, people. Seriously. Seriously, I don't give as much time to baseball. It's my one little thing on the side that I do. My one little pastime. But it's all about statistics and numbers. I've said this a million times. Baseball is the best sport to follow because of all those statistics. God, I can name the World Series, all the World Series winners since 1956. Completely ridiculous. Focus on Bitcoin, people. All right, so back to Bitcoin. Where was I? JW Weatherman. Now, there's a guy who is, about education, not about baseball education. He's about freaking Bitcoin education. So I linked to him below. If you take his course and you mention Adam Meister, you get $50 off. And that's linked to below. He was on the This Week in Bitcoin show this past Friday. Check out disruptmeister.com to watch all my old videos, including that one. And speaking about This Week in Bitcoin, I've got a treat. We're going to have to all the fans of This Week in Bitcoin, I'm going to have a special treat for everyone soon. I'm working on something that'll make it easier to watch them, all the old ones. All right. So where do we go here? Oh, somebody on Monday in the chat said, I put my Trezor on my keychain. And I can't say who this was either. I do know who said this. I can't say who this was because then, I put my Trezor on my keychain like it's a car alarm. Never had a problem at airports. You know what, dude? It's not a bad idea at all. That's not a bad idea. I mean, at the American airports, which is for us Americans, that's what we have to worry about the most when we're leaving the country or coming back in the country. You're probably all right with that. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you are carrying your Trezor, if you just have it on your keychain, they're more into other things right now. I mean, if you made it look really obvious, like something they should look at, if it's, again, I thought that was interesting. I'm not making any recommendations. I'm just sharing that. I thought that was, if I had to carry my Trezor, I'd probably put it on my keychain. The one time I did carry my Trezor, that was really bad what happened. When they were searching me, again, if you're a single male, or if you're a guy without your family, you're traveling on business, you're unshaven, you already look like you're a freaking, you got the dark hair and the dark skin like me, they're going to think you're a drug dealer and they're going to search everything. That's why I learned my lesson. They did ask me. No, that was a long story. That's for another show. I've talked about that in the past. Let's get back to this darn show. Where were we? We talked about the Trezor on your keychain. What else is there here? Oh, Ethereum stuff. Well, I'm offended by selling. Pound that like button. Bang that bell button too if you need reminders when this frickin' show comes on. What is this? The Omni Research has this tweet out. September ICO issuance down 90% from January. If you're wondering why the Ethereum price has collapsed and has no bid, here is the answer. Ethereum's use case equals global funding currency for ICOs. Note the correlation of Ethereum price and ICO issuance. So that is a very interesting correlation. Now, I want to be clear on this, that I'm not saying that Ethereum's only future use case is doing this ICO thing. I'm sure people are going to be able to do other productive things with Ethereum. But right now, there was no doubt about it that its primary use case was funding these freaking ICOs. And now these ICOs aren't hot to trot anymore like they were in January. And guess what? The Ethereum price is going down. But guess what? All these other coins trying to be Ethereum, they're in a bad state, because if Ethereum isn't doing well in this space, then how are the other ones going to do well? Ethereum is the next Ethereum. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. How about that? And if you're some programmer of the next awesome worldwide machine, then yeah, program on Ethereum. Mess around with Ethereum. But you're not using it as a store of value. You're not using it as the rock, as Bitcoins. But that's great. It's apples and oranges. So again, I'm a Bitcoin firster. But I can admit, Ethereum is the next Ethereum. All right. So here is a study of crypto network forks. This is an interesting paper. I read it. You should read it. It's about different forks, crypto dividends, as some say, as I say. But no, it's not. It doesn't talk about airdrops. This crypto dividends covers airdrops. It covers forks. This is just covering forks. It has been argued, and let me quote something from this paper. It has been argued that forks are dilutive to the value of a crypto asset, as they split the user base or demand side between the parent and the child, resulting in a lower combined network value. No. Looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and Monero, the idea that forks divert the demand side of the network from the main chain does not appear to hold true. Rather than true community splits, forks of these networks appear to have created essentially new communities. Something also apparent from the behavior of developers. Child chains to date have struggled to attract demand and developer talent from their parent communities. We can speculate that the inability of almost any child chain to meaningfully appreciate relative to its parent may result from this difficulty of diverting users and developers from parent networks. So you got the real Bitcoin, you create some forks off of it. The real Bitcoin stays the real Bitcoin. The developers stay. The fans stay. The holders stay. Now, and this is true in the other coins that it mentioned also, okay? What these forks have turned out to be are just smaller new communities that are free one-time dividends for the holders of the original coin, crypto dividends. Now, the one thing that wasn't mentioned in this, I want to give a little insight to everyone. Back in the day, of the time of the Ethereum Classic fork, none of you are hardly any of you are going to remember 2016. I was not a fan. I was like, Bitcoin can have no forks. Again, you have to evolve over time. And as we got closer to the Bcash fork, I started understanding that, this can't overtake Bitcoin. The community is on. It'll form an altcoin. It's just a unique way of forming a new altcoin. But what this paper did not talk about is, how about some of these mediocre, not top tier altcoins out here, but maybe second tier altcoins that are out there. Is there going to be a time when there will be, and I discussed this a long time ago, where there will be a fork, and the new fork will be that coin, and the one left behind will be, it'll be like a 60-40 type of split. The other one will still be a big coin, but the new coin will be the main version of that parent, the former parent coin. So that wasn't explored, because so far what we've seen is every time there's been a fork, the parent coin is the root coin, as I put it a while ago, stays the rock of that ecosystem, and everything else keeps forking off of that main rock again. All right, so here is something, a Medium post. Launch your full Bitcoin plus Lightning node today with BTC Pay. server on top, with BTC Pay server on top. Process is fully automated and takes less than a minute, plus whole setup costs less than $10 a month. Read more there. Okay, for all you people who want to risk, this is early days of Lightning Network now. If you want to have your Lightning node today, read that. All right, there you go. I'm not recommending it, but people want to know about it. There it is. Check it out. George Kovac sent $5. No wisecracks today. Hold Bitcoin. Low time preference. All right. But let's have a long-term thinking. Let's not care about short-term thinking. Long-term thinking. All right. So what do we got here? But thank you, George. Excuse me. I called him George. It's Gregor. It's Gregor. You know what? There used to be some other dude around here that had a G name. I don't know what happened to that guy. He was like he was some kind of Eastern European. I just remembered him. He didn't like that I mentioned other coins, and then he's like, I'm not watching your channel anymore. I don't even remember. I know his name started with a G. It was a while ago. It's funny how things can just flash back into your head sometimes. So of all the people to be angry about, I'm one of the biggest Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoin firster. Come on, dude. But some people are they're very strict. They're orthodox. They're Bitcoin maximalist orthodox. Priests, I guess. You can't, if you mention the word Litecoin, if you accept Litecoin as a donation, you're a criminal. What was that dude's name? It started with, I always pronounce, I butcher people's names on here. I got the Baltimore accent here. Too much cheering for the Orioles all these years. You messaged my voice up. Yeah, I got the Baltimore accent. I'm going down the ocean. So finally, Ripple. This who said this? Whale Panda said, Ripple is great for crypto. It's a very simple and effective Twitter IQ test. All right. I don't agree. I don't think all people involved with Twitter are stupid. And Ripple is for rookies, man. That's something people should say. So someone replied to that tweet with a tweet that I approve of. It's a great indicator if you want to find out how much research someone actually did, in my opinion. Many people I know heard about Bitcoin, saw the Ripple price, learned about Ripple, compared the price to Bitcoin, thought it was cheap, bought it. And then they tweet about how it will reach, $20,000, just like Bitcoin did. All right. So yeah, again, I'm not going to call all, Ripple people low IQ people. A lot of them were impulsive. A lot of people want their coin to be the next Bitcoin. Doesn't everyone? But they just haven't been around for a while. They haven't taken the time to do the research. They're in the 80% type of knowledge. Fancy sets and graphics and bikini-clad women valuing their wealth in women. And again, when we're young, we all value our wealth in women. Heck, I used to value now, was that very productive? No, not really. Spent a lot of time valuing your wealth in Bitcoin. That's productive. That's getting on the 20%er side of things. And if you really, you got to take your time, send your first Bitcoin before you buy your first Litecoin. And if you're patient with this stuff, you're not going to end up some Ripple bag holder or some of these guys that have gone crazy on Twitter. I mean, it's very embarrassing. Some of the things they tweet about the greatness of Ripple. I mean, whoa. I mean, why aren't you just a fan of the US dollar and banks? I mean, it's a free country. You could be a fan. There's no shame, I guess. There's no shame in being a fan of the US dollar, but you're talking cryptos and stuff with Ripple. I mean, you might as well just go back to again, personal responsibility is a new counterculture. You'll learn soon enough, you Ripple heads. They probably already have. Anyway, I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, check out the notes section below. And Vention said, well, I said pound that like button, but Vention said Adam won't say And I won't say HODL. I don't like that word. I like hold. I like hold. Grab a hold of that. If you value your wealth in women, grab a hold of that.